Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, our guest is Yessenia Gutierrez, lifetime polycystic kidney disease patient, two-time kidney transplant recipient, currently seeking a third kidney transplant, liver transplant recipient, kidney advocate, and NKF Pure mentor. Yessenia's kidney story literally starts on the date of her birth, December 21st, 1994. She was born with polycystic kidney disease. Her kidneys failed when she was just 9 years old. At one point in her life, because of doctor appointments and dialysis treatments, she actually had to stop attending school and become homeschooled. Yessenia tells me this went on for a period of 10 years. Way to go, Yessenia. Because of the difficulty, she also received mental health treatments. She received her first kidney transplant in 2004 at the age of 10. She was on dialysis for 11 years before receiving her second kidney transplant and her first liver transplant on August 11th, 2017. The second kidney transplant also failed after 2 years. Not her fault, by the way. And she is currently seeking a third kidney transplant at the age of 30. She's back on dialysis at this time, and so far she's been waiting 5 years and counting. She is currently listed at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami through the Miami Transplant Institute. Um, Yessenia has sent me a link that if you want to donate to her, you follow the link. If you go to this broadcast, it's pinned to the top of my Facebook page, Jim Myers, Myers. In the comment section, the very top comment is the link to where you can go to donate to Yessenia. Yessenia began writing at a very young age, and this has blossomed into a career for her. She has written 2 books. She's currently working on a third, many other writings that we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. She's a very active kidney advocate and also an NKF Pure mentor. Please give a warm welcome to our friend, Yessenia Gutierrez. Yessenia, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. Doing well. Um, did I get everything right in the introduction? Did I miss anything?
You got everything right.
Yay, way to go, Uncle Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, please tell us a little bit about where you grew up, your education, and your employment experiences.
I grew up in South Miami and I have a twin sister. Always lived with my sister, my mom and dad. Um Growing up was a little difficult for me since I was sick. Um Going into the hospital a lot and you know having like surgeries and procedures, not normal for like a young child, so when I was like, let's say like 8 7 years old, I didn't really know that I was sick, that I didn't understand what was happening to me or why I had to do the things that I had to do, like go to the hospital a lot and go to the doctors, sometimes miss like school. But after I had my first kidney transplant, that's when I first learned that I had like a chronic illness, that it was something serious. When I had my first kidney transplant, I was scared because I was like, what is this? What's going on with me? And then my mom telling me that after my kidney transplant, I couldn't go back to school, to public school. I had to be homeschooled because the doctor was saying that it would be better for me just to protect the kidney and protect me from getting infections. So I was sad because, as a child, I really wanted to go back to school to make friends and, just have like a normal, child life. But little by little, I started to like being homeschooled because I would get my own teachers and they would be nice. And I feel like I felt like by being homeschooled, I kind of focused more on my schoolwork than when I was going to, regular public school. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Um I worked I started working, like my first job ever was when I was probably 16 or 17. I got a part-time job at McDonald's and I was also going to dialysis. So I would work in the mornings, not in the mornings, like in afternoons, and then do dialysis at night.
Okay. I understand that you were diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease at the time of your birth on
Mhm.
December 21st, 1994.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to us how you were diagnosed?
Yeah, so I was born, and then when the doctors, like, they noticed that my blood pressure was extremely high and I was having problems breathing, and then they took me to the nursery, and that's when they learned that I had polycystic kidney disease. And I know that after I was born, I had to stay in the hospital for like 3 months because they had to, like, take care of me there. So I was in the hospital for like 3 months after I was born.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's when the doctor told my mom, hey, she's gonna need a nephrologist to follow her because she has polycystic kidney disease.
Okay. From your knowledge and experience of over 30 years, can you please explain to our audience what you understand polycystic kidney disease to be?
Yeah, so there are, well, from what I know, there are like two different types of polycystic kidney disease. There's a part that's called ADPKD, and then there's another one that's called ARPKD. So from my genetic testing that I did in the past, I know that the one that I was born with is ARPKD, which, from what I've read online about, it's like really rare, and it says that, like, like children mostly get it, like, born, like, when they are born they get it, but it says that, like, the majority of the children who are born with that, they don't make it, they die. So from me, like, reading that, I consider myself to be very lucky that I did make it, because that's what I've read about it. I know that the other one, people have it when they're like adults. So the one that I have is ARPKD.
Okay, so
And
you
what
have
it
the
is,
recessive
it's,
version of polycystic kidney disease.
yes, that's the one I have. Yeah.
One in every
Which,
25,000 children or so inherit that disease. That's my understanding.
yes.
And
Yes.
your Uncle Jim has PKD too, but I have the
Mhm.
dominant version.
Okay, yes.
I
That
have
would
the
make
adult
sense.
version.
Yeah, that would
Um,
make sense.
would it be fair for me to say a simple description of PKD? It's a genetic disease in which fluid-filled sacs called cysts grow mainly in the kidneys,
Mm-hmm.
and those cysts destroy the good material of the kidney, and eventually it causes failure. And this is all caused by a gene mutation. It's either PKD1 or PKD2. Are
Yes.
those fair statements for me to make?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And it's my understanding, Yessenia, that your kidneys actually failed when you were around 9 years old. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
Yeah. So, after that, I I was like at home. I was still going to see my nephrologist with my mom. We would go like every week to see him to keep up with my disease, and keep up with the treatments. But I remember this one day we decided to go to Disney, just to have fun, like a family vacation. And this was in 2004. I was 9 years old. And then I remember being in the park, we were having fun when we were there. But a couple days later, I started to feel bad. And, I was feeling bad. I wasn't really eating. I wasn't like in the mood to be there. And that's when my mom decided to take my blood pressure. My blood pressure was so high. It was like 200 over something. And I couldn't even walk. You just had to see me to know that something was wrong with me, because I was so skinny and I was just looking just so bad, like, really, really, really bad. And then I started to like have like a seizure, I think. I don't really remember, but I know that they had to bring me back in a helicopter because I was all the way in Orlando, and the hospital that I was going to for transplant is here in Miami. So they brought me in a helicopter to the hospital, and that's where they learned that my kidneys had failed.
Okay. And
And
were you placed on dialysis at that time?
I wasn't on dialysis yet, but I was put on dialysis when they noticed that my kidneys were failing.
Were you first put on dialysis with a catheter, or did
A
they put in a
catheter.
fistula or a graft right away?
No, a catheter. I was put on a catheter, yeah. I actually
Okay.
never got a fistula when I was on dialysis that first time, because I only lasted 2 months in dialysis before getting my first kidney transplant.
Were you taking dialysis at a child center or at an adult
Yeah.
center?
Child center, yeah.
Okay. And not at home. This would be in center
In center.
hemodialysis through your heart catheter.
Yeah, in center dialysis.
All right. How long were you on dialysis before your first kidney transplant?
2 months.
Okay. My notes tell me your first kidney transplant was in 2004 when you were approximately 10 years old. Is that correct?
It was my first kidney transplant was on October 21st, 2004. So I was not yet 10, I was still 9.
Okay. I read an article, and I'm going to show the folks link to the article that the NKF wrote about you.
Mhm.
Um, and so if people need reference or they want to drill down a little bit on what happened with Yessenia, this is a very good article to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Um, After your transplant, how was your health? Tell us a little bit about how you were doing after that first transplant.
So after my first transplant, I was actually doing really good. I was more energetic. I was happy. I was glowing. I had color. So I was happy because I could drink. I could drink. I wasn't on fluid restriction anymore. Um, I was actually hungry because I know when I started dialysis for the first time, I wasn't eating very well at home. But after my first transplant, yeah, I started eating a lot. And I just, I went home. I continued to be homeschooled just because of the fact that my doctor told my mom that he thought it would be better for me to prevent getting infections and to protect the new kidney transplant. So I was being homeschooled at home, and on the days that I didn't, I would go out with my mom or with any family member and just try to enjoy my life and be normal. I remember my dad got me my first dog, which he was really important to me because he was always there for me. um but yeah, I don't remember when. Well, I mean, yes, I do. Sorry. I as a, I don't know how, but I got the BK virus, and when I got the BK virus, that's when things went down for me. When like my labs were looking really bad, and um, they I they called my mom and told her she needs to come to the ER because her creatinine is super high, and we're afraid that something might happen to the kidney. So we went, and they tried to do everything that they could. They even did something that perhaps they shouldn't have done, but they thought they were doing the right thing. So they had never used this medication with anybody, and they wanted to try it on me for the first time. And I agreed because I thought that it was gonna help my kidney. But what it did was that it worsened the kidney, and I ended
Mm.
up losing it instead of helping it. It destroyed it.
Okay.
So
Where did your first transplant take place, Yessenia?
Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Okay. And how long was it between the time you were transplanted and the time that the transplant failed?
It was a year, like a year and a half.
Okay. And did you end up back on dialysis again after the kidney failed because of the BK virus?
I did, yeah.
What kind of dialysis were you on at that time?
I was also on the regular hemodialysis in center. That I actually went back to the children's dialysis that I had started, and I was on there for 11 years before having the second one, because that's where my nephrologist worked. Now, nephrologist that he was my nephrologist since the day I was born, and he was really good with me. Very nice, very caring, and sweet doctor. So I went back to him, and he helped me. He was there for me. We, trying to get a second kidney transplant, and then my mom got tested to donate hers, and even my sister, because I'm not sure if I mentioned that I'm a twin.
Oh, okay. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm a twin, so my twin wanted to donate, but then my surgeon, he didn't want them to donate, because he was saying that if they donated, um, I could reject it. So he was saying, let's just save theirs, like for the future, because he thinks it's better for me. It's better, like, for me to get a deceased donor, because I lost the second kidney transplant due to really high antibodies.
Okay. So you were back on dialysis. It's my understanding that you were on dialysis again for an 11-year period before your second transplant. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. The reason that it like the reason that the time extended more is because they found out that I would need a liver transplant as well. So
Okay.
that was like in the year 2016, which the year 2016 was probably like one of the worst years for me, because that year I had liver failure, which honestly it's one of the most like horrible things that can happens to someone, because it's really really bad. I lost like 40 pounds. I lost all my hair. It was really bad, and my skin got super yellow, and I couldn't do anything. I was just in bed the whole time.
Okay. I read that by 2016 you were put on a list for a liver transplant, and by 2017 your liver had actually failed. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. And then in August of 2017, you received a simultaneous kidney and liver transplant. Where did that take place, Yessenia?
That also took place at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, and both were from a deceased donor. It was actually an 11-year-old. That's what I was told.
Okay. And how did things go for the first couple of weeks after your transplant?
So when I had, cause the liver transplant was a really big surgery, and I know that they told me that they took me into the OR like 4 or 5 times because there was something wrong going on with the bile duct that they had to like keep changing it. I don't know, but I do know that I had to go in a couple times more than once to the OR after my liver transplant. But then after cause I know they put the liver first, and then the next day they did the kidney. So when they put the kidney in, I was peeing the first couple weeks, but then I just suddenly stopped peeing. And I don't know why I stopped peeing because when they did labs, like the creatinine and everything, it was good. But for some reason, I wasn't peeing. They gave me laxes, to try to fix that issue, but it wasn't working. And by like 2 or 3 days later, I was I was really swollen. Like my legs were getting swollen, my feet was getting swollen, my face, everything. I could feel it. So that's when my nephrologist said, I think we should just do dialysis to see if maybe dialysis can help the kidney. And I went and I did dialysis for like a week, and it actually did help the kidney. It brought my creatinine down to like zero point 0.4, which
Wow.
was amazing. So my nephrologist was super happy with that, and I remember I was happy too because it stayed like that for like 2 months, and I was at home. I got discharged and I went home. She told me, at home, make sure that you eat well. You keep exercising and drink lots of water. Don't forget to drink lots of water because it's very important to keep the kidney, hydrated. And I did, but they made a mistake. Well, this was my GI, my the doctor for my liver transplant. She made the mistake of leaving my catheter in because I don't remember why she wanted to leave it and not take it out, but because of that I got a virus that, I'm not sure if you heard of this. What was it called? It, do you know anything like staphylococcus, something like that?
Yeah, Staphylococcus, sure.
Yeah, yes, I got that, and I know that they told me that it did horrible to the kidney, all the organs, but mostly the kidney. And after I got that virus, I was able to get better and go home, but I don't think my kidney ever recovered from that because the creatinine never went down from 2. And then after 2, it just kept getting like it just kept increasing and increasing throughout the years. Like
Okay,
the highest I had the creatinine when I actually had like the kidney failure, it was 4.1.
that's high.
Yeah, it was super high. So
Okay, let's recap for a moment. You had a simultaneous kidney and liver transplant in August of 2017.
mhm.
My notes tell me you were hospitalized for 2 months. By 2020, you stopped urinating. You had another acute kidney rejection. You're telling me that's because of the streptococcal virus.
Yeah,
And you lost the kidney, correct?
correct.
Okay. And since that time, you're back on dialysis right now,
Yes.
and you have been since 2020. So that's approximately 5 years that you're waiting for a third kidney transplant.
Yes.
Where are you currently listed Yessenia?
I'm listed at Jackson Memorial Hospital. I tried to get listed at Cleveland Clinic here in Western Florida, but they told me that that my like they said that my problem was too complicated for them, and that they think that Jackson could handle me better. So
Okay. Let's talk about the current status of your health. How are you doing since the time that your kidney rejected and you're back on dialysis?
I'm doing okay, just hanging in there. I'm still doing the things that I enjoy doing, and I'm working to get back active on the waiting list to see if I can get a third kidney transplant. But this time I'm gonna need a kidney pancreas transplant.
Okay. All right. And are you telling us you're currently on hold then at
I'm
this point in time?
I'm currently on hold because of the severe pancreatitis that I had last year. I have to do like a bunch of tests because they want to make sure that everything is okay with my lungs, because I did have a pulmonary embolism last year where my left lung collapsed and I was intubated for like 2 weeks. So they want to make sure that everything's okay, and that I'm good enough to have a transplant.
Okay. And you sent me a link earlier today. If somebody wanted to donate to you, they could follow that link and sign up to donate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And just so the folks at home know, that link is in the comments to this broadcast that I've pinned to the top of my Facebook page. So if you go to my Facebook page, Jim Myers, Myers, and I'm the handsome guy. Don't get the page of the ugly Myers guy. And you go to the comments. At the very, very top of the comments is the link that Yessenia sent to me right before the broadcast. So if you wanted to donate to her, you can do that. You can click on the link and sign up to donate. Um, One of the things that I read over and over again about you in the materials that I found, and by the way, all of my research is in the comment to Yessenia's broadcast too. So if you wanted to drill down a little bit or you wanted to learn more about her, um, all of that information is there, including the NKF article, which is a very good article. I recommend it. One of the things I read about you is that you remain optimistic and hopeful despite all your experiences. Can you explain to us how you're able to do that?
Yeah. So I think that as long as we are alive, everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. As long as we are alive, we can do whatever we want to do. Even if we're sick and on dialysis, that shouldn't be like an excuse to not do things, or to say, oh no, I can't do it, I'm sick. No, because what that should do, I think, is it should make you stronger, and it should make you more capable of doing things, and of doing the things that you want to do. Because it's not like, like we're dying. No, like, you have to think about it like this way. Like, dialysis, I know it sucks and I know it's not fun, but it is keeping us alive, while we wait for a kidney transplant, which is good because a kidney transplant is a better option. So that's how I think about this. I don't like to like complain about anything, because I also think that if we complain, we don't get any better, you know? And we want to get better. So we should be grateful and move forward and do what makes us happy, because at the end of the day, um the only time that life really stops for us is when we die.
Okay. Wow. Let's talk a little bit about your kidney advocacy experiences. In fact, I remember meeting you. You were at the NKF Summit last year, correct?
Correct.
How did you enjoy your experiences at the summit in Washington, D.C.?
It was really fun, and I got to meet other people that also are on dialysis and have had organ transplants. So that was really nice to see that that I'm not the only one suffering, that not the only one the only one on dialysis. I got to talk to people that are important, senators and legislators, and that was really nice. And I wish I could go this year, but I don't think that I'm gonna be able to.
Okay. Talk to us about your experiences acting as a peer mentor for the NKF. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how long you've been doing it.
So I started working as a peer mentor. I believe it was in 2022, and I've been like talking to different people for like almost 3 years now. So what I do is that they assign the mentee, and I talk to them, and most of them are always like sad or depressed of having to start dialysis or having to do dialysis. I have this one girl, she lives in Michigan, I believe, and she's ever since we started talking, she's always complaining about, having to do dialysis. She's 58 years old, and she says that she can't stand it. So, what I try to do is I try to make her see that dialysis is not that bad. That, I mean, she's only been on it for 2 months. And I tell her, I've been on dialysis for almost 15 years. And I understand that it's hard and it sucks, but you have to look at like the bright side of it. It's keeping you alive, and it's only 3 hours. You can also, if you don't like going to the in center, because she doesn't like going to the in center dialysis. So I told her about doing home hemodialysis because she didn't know about home hemodialysis. She knew about peritoneal dialysis. And she tells me, I don't want to have a hole on my stomach. I don't like that idea of having a hole on my stomach and having like a tube on my stomach. And I'm like, well, there's an option that you can do hemodialysis. And she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you can even put your own needles. And she didn't know that. So I told her about it, and I told her to speak to her social worker at that dialysis clinic and tell her, to find out more information, and maybe she can do it at home, and that way she'll be happier. I've heard from a lot of people that home hemodialysis is so much better than in center dialysis because you can actually do it while you sleep, you know and it also gives you more freedom. It takes away more fluid. It's just better. I'm actually thinking about doing that too.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's talk a little bit about your writing experiences. Tell us, when did you start writing and why did you begin writing?
So I started writing. I wrote my first poem when after I had my first kidney transplant. I was bored, and I had a laptop, and I just started writing, and I wrote my first poem, which was about kidneys. Not sure if you've read it before or if you've seen it.
I might have, yes.
Maybe, maybe. But that's when I wrote my first poem, and then I realized that writing was making me very happy. It was something that made me, I don't know, just happy. I felt like it made me a better person, and like at the same time I was writing, I was learning. So it really helped me like with my grammar, my vocabulary, and my English especially. Um, After that, I wrote my first book when I was in the ninth grade that I published with my teacher. And she was actually one of the teachers that taught me to, to keep writing, to never stop writing because I had a very special talent.
Okay. My notes tell me that your first book was published in March of 2024 called The Ideal Patient,
Yeah,
and you published a second book in December of 2024 called Who Did It? You kind of like these sort of mystery type novels, is that correct?
that's correct. Yes.
And the link that's passing by now that people can see,
Mm-hmm.
that's the link where you can find Yessenia's books through Amazon. So if you go again to the broadcast that's pinned to the top of my Facebook page, if this is going too fast for you, the link to find Yessenia's books is in the comments to the broadcast. So you can click on that and find it. Yessenia, you've written a few articles too. My health crisis. Kidney patients need congressional help.
Mm-hmm.
How I survive.
Yeah.
And you've also written articles for the Renal Support Network and their contest, and you finished second, honorable mention, like twice.
Yeah.
My doctor, my protector, and no reason to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a screenwriter profile as well with the Writers Guild of America. Can you tell us a little bit about your other experiences with writing?
Yeah. So, I believe it was in 2019 or 2020 or 2021. I don't remember. I entered a contest for screenwriting. Um, I submitted my screenwriting book. It was called The Abduction, I think. And I actually won. I won first place, and they had told me that they were going to get my writing to make it like a movie. But I don't know what happened after that I never heard back from them. I don't know if it was a scam. I don't remember. I don't know. But I was really excited and really happy about that at least I won first place. Cuz a
Terrific.
lot Yeah, cuz a lot of people were entering that contest. So,
Wow. And the Renal Support Network. I know that Lori Hartwell and her group, they're for real.
yeah.
And you've
Yeah.
done well with the two essays you've written for her.
Yeah.
Um, I understand that you're in the process of writing a third novel. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm writing a third book, and this book's title is gonna be called The Secret That Hides Beneath. It's a thriller mystery, of course, and the book is already, I'm done. I wrote it. I'm just waiting on my editors to get back at me and to tell me, like, ask me what kind of cover design I want on the book and what picture I want on the book. But after that, I have to wait like 6 months for it to be published. So maybe looking like mid of the year, maybe
Okay.
August or September.
Will you do me a favor when the book gets published? Will you send me a link so I can share it?
Yes, of course.
Great, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, we're in the home stretch here, Yessenia.
Mm.
Do you have any final statements you wish to make to our audience before we conclude the broadcast this evening?
Um, I mean, just to let the people who are watching this, if they are on dialysis or if they suffer from chronic kidney disease, to let them know that they're not alone, and that I know it's hard and I know it can be sad and overwhelming, but nothing lasts forever. Everything is temporary, and so will the suffering and pain, and everything's gonna get better. You just have to believe in that and believe in yourself, and also don't pause anything in your life just because you're on dialysis or because you're waiting for a kidney transplant. Keep doing what makes you happy and try to enjoy life because you never know.
Okay. Yessenia, I've taken up more than a half an hour, almost 45 minutes of your time. I'm going to update the folks on what's going on next week. You're free to go if you like. You're free to stay if you like, whatever you want to do. But I just want to say thank you for
Okay.
sharing your story with us. You have a very, very compelling story, and I'm going to be passing the broadcast around. And I want to wish you very well on finding your third kidney transplant. And if you have to have a simultaneous pancreas transplant at the same time, I hope that goes well.
Thank you
And
so.
maybe I'll have you back sometime. You can tell us about your kidney pancreas transplant.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And please keep us up to date on your books, okay?
Okay, I will. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very happy to have done this.
All right, me too.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye now. All right, that's our broadcast for this evening. Uh, Doubleheader week next week. I'm doing a broadcast with Audrey Bella Langston on Wednesday. I know that's an unusual day for me. Wednesday at the same time, 7 o'clock in the evening, Central Standard Time. Audrey wants to bring her donor on, and we're going to talk about that situation. It's also Audrey's birthday, which is, I gather, is turning into a full month's worth of celebration. So Audrey's going to be on Wednesday. On Friday, we're going to have a guest on. We're going to talk about some of the ins and outs of dialysis that don't get spoken about frequently. So that ought to be illuminating Friday at the normal time. And I thank everybody for being here tonight. God, I thought Yessenia was just terrific. What a great job she did, and just an amazing individual to have been through so much trauma. Two transplants, working on a third kidney transplant, had a liver transplant. Next time she needs a pancreas transplant. Yet she seems to remain very optimistic, and she's working, and the kind of work that she does, she helps other kidney patients through the NKF's Pure Mentor program, and she cranks out 3 books and award-winning essays, and she's just remarkable. I'm very glad that I was able to share her kidney story with you. So until next week, my friends, you have a good week, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.